Hi, my name is Caylun Chatmon, and I am here to speak to you about mental health days should be mandatory in schools and workplaces. So let's go here and imagine something really quickly. Imagine waking up feeling drained physically, but emotionally. You got deadlines, exams, responsibilities waiting, but your mind is heavy. Your chest is tight, and just can't seem that you can't shake this anxiety. Now, imagine being forced to push through the day again and again with no break, not because you just need one, but mental health just isn't seen as a valid reason to pause, you know? Whether you're a student juggling grades or an employee meeting quotas, we all experience mental fatigue, burnout, stress, anxiety aren't rare, they're common. Yet we rarely allow ourselves the time to rest mentally the way we should for a physical illness. As someone who's experienced, I guess, the burnout firsthand, I've spoken with students and also professionals who feel the same way. I've come to realize that ignoring mental health, excuse me, only leads to worse outcomes for everyone. It's like it makes you go into this dark place. And I guess I can expound on that because I've been there. I was so captivated in the place for so long and not being able to let my mental breathe. I basically lost myself and I lost the connection that I had with myself, even knowing who I was. But mental health is needed. It's needed to it's needed to help you gain growth with yourself, gain knowledgement with yourself, explore new avenues. We don't want to be stuck in the same place. And I feel like that's where it plays a part mainly is with mental. We doing stuff so repetitively and same way, same this. You won't never just even breathe from your mind from even just doing the same thing. But anyway, of less of here. Today, I'm going to persuade you to believe mental health days should be a mandatory part of both school and policies. So I want to move to the main points that I'm going to bring today. First, I want to introduce you to the problem. Second, I want to present the solution. And thirdly, I will show you how this can benefit you and others around you. So let's first dive into the fact of introducing the problem. Now, I want to describe the fact of the need here. The need is right now, mental health is often treated as an afterthought. Um, Many schools, workplaces, excuse me, there's this unspoken expectation that people should just push through regardless, or have they really, or even from the fact of what they're feeling inside. But truth is, when students and employees are constantly pressure to perform without space to rest or rest mentally, it leads to serious consequences as like chronic stress, anxiety, and depression and burnout. And it's like a place where you don't even want to be. Like, yes, we get pushed with a lot in life. And honestly, when it came to the kids part of this, it kind of touched me because it was like, we think also, I feel like as a person, we forget that even, well, let me say this, as an adult, we think that so much is on us just being adults. And, we got the bills, we got to make sure they got the clothes, the food in the refrigerator, lights, everything like that. But the kids also have mental. They also get tired of Billy trying to steal their bear at school, or never know, bullies. You never know, somebody picking on them. It's just that we don't know what happens when we leave their sides. But in the fact of me wanting to explain the importance of this problem, I wanted to dive into the fact of the need of it. The need here is simple but urgent. But people need time to care for their mental health, just like they would for the physical illness. You wouldn't expect someone with the flu to do their best work or study for a big test. So why is it any different when someone is mentally exhausted? Why does a sickness have to be overpowered by a mental? I feel like, to my self acknowledgement, mental is really more, I feel like, dangerous than anything. I mean, yeah, physical, you may hurt yourself, but I mean, we got the doctors. And I'm just not saying that we just want to hurt ourselves, but we got doctors. We got people around that can probably fix us back together and stuff like that. It's probably can't. But still, the same token, your mental, your mental controls so much. Your mental controls your ligaments in your body, and how your body moves, and all that stuff like that. I also want to just move to the fact of describe what could happen if this problem is not resolved. If we keep ignoring the issue, this toll will will only grow. Burnout will keep rising, productivity will keep dropping, and we'll continue to see more people struggling in silence. And in the long run, that doesn't just affect individuals, it affects the entire community, schools, and workplaces. It's not just about feeling better, it's about functioning better, like altogether. Because if your mind's not functioning, I don't know how your body can function. And I feel like that's even something that I've grown up and known as a person. If our mind is not connected in the right way, our body's not going to act right. It's like your body, mind, and soul, how they put it in a phrase like that. Like, how is anything supposed to operate right if this is not going correctly up here? So, nevertheless, I do want to move forward to the fact of the second point of view that I wanted to make, which would be the solution of the problem. So, I just want to describe in some kind of detail, and I did find this in one of my sources, by making mental health days mandatory, just like sick days. We acknowledge emotional well being as a real and valid part of health. But what would this look like in practice? What would it look like if we really chose to take the fact of in enabling, if I can say that, mental days? And I'm gonna say this: my job, I work for Raymond James. We actually have personal days. They gave us a personal day, basically to just breathe and just clear our mind from stuff. And I applaud even now some companies are doing that to the fact of they know that we can't do everything. We're not robots. And some companies are realizing that. Now, some companies do not think that they think we just gonna keep on typing and keep on going all day long and not breathe for a minute. You can't do that. I don't even think anybody can do that. We need to breathe for a minute. That's why we have lunches. That's why we have breaks on some of our jobs. We need that. But nevertheless, I want to explain how this basically could work. This plan is simple. The schools and workplaces will formally allocate a certain number of mental health days each year, like personal or sick leave. These days could be used without the need to provide a doctor's note or a detailed explanation, reducing the stigma around needing a break for emotional well being. Just like we don't question someone staying home with the flu, we wouldn't question someone needing time to manage stress, anxiety, or burnout. And I feel like it's just necessary. I feel like it's necessary even in the world that we live today. Y'all, it's so much going on. So much things just mind-boggling, you know? And we are living in those times, as the Bible says, those famine times when there will be wars, there will be things going on that we wouldn't even know why it's happening. But our mind, having all that toggled in there, but where do we have the strength to believe in also the faith, in this circumstance for the mental? So now I finally want to basically move to the fact of showing us how this can benefit you and others around you. So if we adopt mandatory mental days in schools and workplaces, we can expect real lasting benefits. Students will likely perform academically, um, feel more emotionally balanced, reduce burnout and anxiety. For employees, it means higher productivity, better morale, a lower risk of long term stresses, related health issues. People will feel valued. And I feel that even from the fact of being an employee. I mean, I feel like my job recognizing that I'm not a robot or recognize the fact that my mental matters because they need me here as well. I feel like that goes a long way, not just for what they produce or someone produces, but for who they are. showing that person that we thank you for your contribution to the company. We thank you for doing your job. We thank you for being here on time. We thank you for showing up every day. You know, this shift also benefits the broader community. When individuals are mentally well, relationships improve, teams collaborate more effectively, um, overall environments, whether in classrooms or offices, become more supportive and energized. Um, but if we continue, and let me just say this, if we continue to ignore mental health needs, and this is just even on a self-relevance, the consequences are hard to ignore. Rising burnout, increased absentees, and the culture that pushes people past their limits. We risking normalizing stress and silence instead of support and solutions. The choice we make today will shape not only how we work and learn, but how we live. And I just want to iterate again, mental health days should be mandatory in schools and workplaces. It's time we take mental health seriously. Advocate for policies in your schools, workplaces, and communities that include mandatory mental health days. Talk to administrators, HR departments, decision makers. It starts with a conversation, and that conversation can lead to a real change. It really can. As I reinstate, mental health isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Ignoring it has serious consequences, not just for individuals, but for schools, companies, and communities. We must advocate. And I'm just trying to re-empathize the fact of really showing the fact that we need these in our places of work, and also our babies need this. They need a nap time. I mean, even like in school, at kindergarten. They need that to regroup. We all need this to regroup. Mandatory policies that include mental health days in both education and employment. Excuse me. Speak to your boards. Talk to HR departments. Support legislation. I'm sorry. Whatever your position is, you have influence. Just like we don't question a sick day for the flu, as I stated before, we shouldn't question a day to recover from anxiety or emotional exhaustion. The mind matters too, y'all. It really does. It's the functioning of us. So let's start liking it and acting like it and putting some emphasis on the fact of really giving our mind a time to breathe, a time to exhale from so much, and just live and try to have some type of peace even with being on the job. Let your managers know. Let them know that we need these implications. We need this. And I just have a couple of speeches. I'm sorry, a couple of sources that I use. I use Blackmer Nicholas. States are now accepting mental health days as valid reasonings. You can find that as well. Robinson and Bryan, PhD. I used that. That was another source that I did use. In regards of health-related leaves of absences up to 300% since 2017. Also, there was another source that I used, also mandatory mental health sick days highlight the need for dedicated mental health days in workplaces too. This is from Buster 2025 of this year. Thank you so much for your attention. I appreciate you. And I hope this was very informative to you. Have a great day.